Guys, my name's Thomas Bell. I interned at Orthopedic Physical Therapy starting in August, and I'll finish on December 24th. And the Orthopedic Physical Therapy is a therapy clinic on Spawn Drive, kind of by Spawn South Hospital. So it's a therapy clinic that specializes in all injuries and handles all age groups. We handle everything from like little kids to people that are in their 90s. We even worked with a bunch of people that had Parkinson's disease, which was really cool and also very sad because, working with those people, you're trying to do the best they can to just maintain the level of life that they have. So this clinic had 3 therapists and 1 physical therapy assistant at all times, which was nice because we got a lot of patient contact through those 4 people. And we saw approximately like 40 to 55 patients per day, sometimes more or sometimes less, depending on, with Rona and everything. People didn't want to really come in, or people were constantly getting corona or just coming in contact with people who had it, so obviously they couldn't come in. So for our internship objectives, so this was new, dealing with COVID and everything. So learning the protocols of that was really important because obviously we didn't want to spread it around. We didn't want to get it and bring it home to our families. They didn't want to get it from us. So learning those protocols was very important and a major objective of this. And another major one was learning the exercise of each therapist. So as a physical therapist technician, which is what us interns were, we had to learn all the exercises for each therapist for the certain injuries. We had to learn the rehabilitation programs for all the therapists because a lot of the therapists, they had like a set thing for certain injuries, so we knew right away if someone was coming in for like a back injury. We pretty much knew towards the end of my internship like what those exercises would consist of. Another objective was to just gain experience of how therapists work with their patients through their exercise and treatment programs, which obviously is a big deal because the end goal of those is to get those people back to their way of life. Gain overall experience in dealing with patients was big. For me, I want to be a physician's assistant one day, so I'm going to have to deal with patient contact a lot, and getting exposed early to dealing with patients one-on-one and building relationships with them is very important. And then working together with the rest of the staff was another big objective, because if a staff isn't working well together and is having problems, then the patients themselves will suffer. And I think as a whole, we did really good on this one. We all worked really well together, the technicians along with the therapists and even the front office lady. We all had a really good relationship, and I think the patients really saw that, and they enjoyed being around us. So my best experience was Halloween. Throughout the year, we had themed Fridays where we would dress up or wear certain T-shirts. But Halloween, we went all out, and we had we all wore our costumes. And what I really liked about it is the patients really loved it. Like, seeing them laugh at us and at some of us at our costumes, it made their experience better overall. That day especially, they actually enjoyed doing their exercises, even though some of them were in a great deal of pain and didn't really want to be there. It was good to see them enjoy what we were doing. And the staff, we had a lot of fun with it. We bonded over it. It was a good day. The most challenging experience for me was learning how to work with so many new people, and that goes for the 4 therapists that were there, because each therapist had hundreds of exercises, and each therapist didn't call every exercise the same thing. So a few times we had to learn 4 different names for the same exercise for many exercises. It just differed from um, one therapist to the next. But the good thing about them was they they really answered all of our questions. Like if we had anything we just needed to ask, and they would be very happy to show us. And it really helped with the flow of things. And towards the end of it, now looking back at it, I'd say I learned a lot, and I learned a lot of different names for exercises. So it was very good for me as a person and as a future clinician. What I would do differently, honestly, there's not much I would change about this experience, because I felt it was definitely a great experience. Um, every day I really enjoyed coming to work. I enjoyed everything I did with the patients and for the patients. I built a lot of great relationships with the patients. Um, a lot of them, uh, they they requested to only work with me, and that happened for a lot of the internships. There was constantly people requesting to work with a certain technician that they worked with their first day there because of such a good experience that they had with us. And yeah, that makes us feel really good. But if I would do anything differently, I would probably do a little more research into like common therapeutic exercise programs for very common injuries. Like I would look at rehabilitation programs for back pain, knee replacement, shoulder pain, and different shoulder replacement, because that was a bulk of the patients we dealt with. And it would have been nice to have an idea of what these exercise programs were going to look like, because then I would have just been better overall going into it. But other than that, I wouldn't really change anything at all. And my most important professional lesson was to be kind, sincere, and just have fun, because the patients, they're going through a lot. They're not always happy to be coming to therapy. They're always, more often than not, they're in a lot of pain. And when I could tell that when, because everyone here showed a lot of compassion, they were very sincere to the patients, and I could tell that made a big difference in the patients' overall outlook on therapy, because they, even though what they were going through was hard, it was good for them to have someone there that actually cared and was looking out for them and for their betterment. And they really, when the patients enjoy their experience, it makes everything a lot more fun. I know that this internship for me, like, I built a lot of great relationships with my staff and the patients. So that whole just dynamic of everyone working together and building relationships with the patients and each other, I can tell just made a huge impact on the patients, because they were constantly commenting on how well we got along and how much fun it seemed like we were having. So that was good to see.